What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome back to the Everything Bears Show. And first off, we want to thank you guys for helping us get past 200 subscribers. Seriously, this channel keeps growing because of you guys, and we appreciate every single one of you that's been rocking with us from the beginning. So today, Wedge and I are doing our official 2026 Chicago Bears Pick'ems. Game by game, week by week, win, loss, who's drinking the Kool-Aid, and who's preparing for complete psychological destruction. By the end of this video, we're going to have our final records locked in for the season. So with that being said, let's get started. Week 1 at Carolina. The Panthers quietly had a much better season than people realized last year. They had a final record of 8-9. They won the NFC South, made the playoffs for the first time since 2017, and lost a close wildcard game to the Rams. The biggest standout was Bryce Young finally starting to look like a real franchise quarterback late in the season, and rookie wide receiver McMillan also broke out and gave them a real weapon offensively. Unfortunately for them, Wedge and I both picked the Bears to come out on top with this one. Next up, the Minnesota Vikings come into town. The Vikings had a weird season last year. They finished the season 9-8, missed the playoffs, finished third in the NFC North, and started rough, but closed the season strong, winning 5 straight games. The biggest standout was still Justin Jefferson being one of the best receivers in all of football, while Dallas Turner emerged as a legit pass rushing threat. J.J. McCarthy had flashes, but overall struggled with consistency and turnovers. We'll see if Kyler Murray can come in and make any changes for that offense. But in the end, Wedge and I both picked the Vikings to lose this one. Bears get the dub. Week 3 has Philadelphia coming into Chicago for Monday Night Football. The Eagles were still one of the better teams in all of football last season, but they definitely looked more vulnerable than years past. They finished with a record of 11-6, finished second in the NFC East. They made the playoffs, but were eliminated in the wild card round. The biggest standouts are still Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, if he's still there, and Saquon Barkley powering a dangerous offense. Their offensive line remained one of the best in units of football, and the defensive front could still take over games when rolling. And from a Bears perspective, Chicago already punched these guys in the mouth last year. The Bears proved they could physically hang with Philly, and with this being Monday Night Football at Soldier Field, this feels like one of those early season statement games for Caleb Williams and the new look Bears. Unfortunately, we didn't see it the same way. Wedge picked the Eagles on this one. I picked the Bears. Week 4, we host the New York Jets. Listen, respectfully, we're not going to do a deep dive on this one. So yeah, me and Wedge both got the Bears winning this one comfortably. Like, start talking about next week midway through the third quarter comfortably. Me and Wedge picked the Bears for the dub. Week 5 at Green Bay. Here we go. Lambeau Field, Bears, Packers. Nothing else really needs to be said on this one. The Packers had a solid 2025 season, but things completely fell apart late. Their final record was 9-7-1. They finished second in the NFC North. They made the playoffs, but as we all know, were eliminated in the wild card after blowing a massive lead. Jordan Love still had moments where he looked dangerous. Their offense could absolutely get rolling when they found rhythm. Josh Jacobs gives them balance offensively, and their defensive stayed aggressive most of the year. But the biggest story was the collapse. Green Bay lost 4 straight to end the regular season. They lost Micah Parsons in the year due to injury, then came into Chicago and completely melted down in the playoffs. And honestly, from a Bears perspective, this game feels less like, can we beat Green Bay? And more feels like, can we finally start owning this rivalry? Because Chicago already proved last season we can go punch for punch with these guys and beat them when it matters most. Unfortunately, me and Wedge picked the Bears to lose this first one, but it's okay. We're going to see these guys later in the season. Week 6, we traveled to Atlanta. The Falcons were one of the more frustrating teams in football last season. At times, they looked explosive, and at other times, they looked completely stuck in neutral. They finished the season with an 8-9 record. They missed the playoffs. They finished second in the NFC South and lost 4 of their last 6 games to end the season. Michael Penix Jr. showed flashes of becoming a legit franchise quarterback, and Bijan Robinson continues to be one of the most dangerous all-purpose weapons in football. And honestly, this feels like one of those games where the Bears either look like serious playoff contenders or completely overthink a very winnable matchup on the road. But both Wedge and I picked the Bears to win this one. Week 7, Thursday Night Football. The New England Patriots come to town. This one suddenly becomes a lot more interesting when you remember who the Patriots turned into last season. They finished the season 12-5, won the AFC East, cruised through the playoffs, and made it to the Super Bowl. I mean, Drake May took a massive leap last season and completely changed the trajectory of that franchise. And honestly, on a short week, this feels like one of those games where coaching, preparation, and quarterback composure matter more than almost anything else. Thursday night football games get ugly fast. I picked the Bears to lose this one. Wedge actually picked the Bears to win. Sorry, guys. Week 8, the Bears travel to Seattle to go take on the Seahawks on Monday Night Football. This is where the schedule starts getting nasty. Cross-country road trip, one of the loudest stadiums in football, and oh yeah, the defending Super Bowl champions. The Seahawks were the best team in football last season for a reason. They finished the season 14-3, won the NFC West, secured the number 1 seed in the NFC, and won the Super Bowl. Seattle was ridiculously balanced all year, and honestly, this feels like one of those measuring stick games for the Bears. Not just, can you compete, but can you walk into Seattle and survive 4 quarters against the defending champs? Unfortunately, both Wedge and I picked the Bears to lose this one. Week 9, Sunday Night Football, the Tampa Bay Bucks come into Chicago. Yeah, the Bears are living on primetime this year, and honestly, this matchup makes sense. The Bucks were one of the more up-and-down teams in football last season. Finished the season 8-9, missed the playoffs, finished second in the NFC South, and lost 5 of their final 7 games. Baker Mayfield still had moments where he looked dangerous, and Mike Evans continued doing Mike Evans' thing, but Tampa never really found consistency offensively. And they lost Mike Evans too, so there's that. And honestly, this feels like one of those classic Sunday Night Football games where the atmosphere matters almost as much as the matchup itself. Both me and Wedge picked the Bears to win this one. Week 10, it's a bye week. And just like that, the Bears head into the bye sitting at 6-3. Not perfect, not flawless, but very, very alive in the playoff picture. At this point of the season, Bears fans are either starting to believe or they're sitting there waiting for the annual emotional disaster to arrive. Either way, this team officially has everybody's attention. Week 11, we host the New Orleans Saints. The Saints were one of the strangest teams in football last season. Some weeks they look competitive, and other weeks it looked like the entire offense forgot football even existed. They finished the season 6-11. They well missed the playoffs, finished last in the NFC South, and struggled badly offensively most of the year. The biggest bright spot was their defense still fighting hard despite constantly being put in bad situations. And honestly, this feels like one of those games the Bears should win if they're serious about being a playoff team. Both me and Wedge picked the Bears for the dub. Here's a big one, boys. At Detroit for Thanksgiving. Oh boy. Thanksgiving, national TV, Bears, Lions, and Ben Johnson walking back into Detroit wearing navy and orange. This game has storyline overload written all over it. The Lions took a noticeable step backward last season, but they still managed to stay competitive all year. They finished with a record of 9-8. They missed the playoffs, finished third in the NFC North, and lost 3 of their final 5 games. And yeah, they absolutely owned the Bears last season, which makes this matchup even more uncomfortable. Detroit's offense still has weapons everywhere, but Lions fans spent most of last year furious over the offense not looking the same after Ben Johnson left for Chicago. And honestly, this game feels personal for everybody involved. Detroit fans are going to treat Ben Johnson like a supervillain walking back into Ford Field on Thanksgiving Day. Wedge picked the Bears to lose this one. I got the Bears winning. Next up, Jacksonville comes to town. The Jaguars had a really strong season last year, but their year ended way earlier than people expected. They finished the season 13-4. They won the AFC South. They made the playoffs, but they were eliminated in the wild card round. Trevor Lawrence finally started looking like the franchise quarterback Jacksonville always believed he could become. Their offense played faster, more confident football, and Brian Thomas Jr. emerged as a major weapon offensively. But despite the strong record, there were still stretches where Jacksonville looked vulnerable physically, especially against more aggressive defenses. And honestly, this feels like a brutal spot for Jacksonville. Late season, Chicago, cold weather, outdoors, potential playoff implications. That's a completely different environment than what this Jags roster is used to dealing with. Me and Wedge both picked the Bears to win this one. Next up, Bears travel to Miami. This one honestly feels like an afterthought. The Dolphins are fully entering tankathon territory this season, and unless something drastically changes, this should be a walkthrough for Chicago. And honestly, the Bears should dominate this game. Wedge and I both picked the Bears to win. Okay, this one's huge. The Bears head into Buffalo late in the season, outdoors, cold weather, playoff atmosphere, and now you're adding the emotional layer of DJ Moore facing Chicago after getting traded to the Bills this offseason. That's drama. And yeah, Buffalo rolling out a new stadium is just another reminder that apparently other franchises can actually get stadium deals done. Must be nice. The Bills were still one of the AFC's top teams last season. They finished the season 12-5, finished second in the AFC East. They made the playoffs and reached the divisional round. Josh Allen was still playing superhero football half the time, and now adding DJ Moore to that offense makes them even more dangerous. Buffalo still had one of the toughest home environments in football, especially late in the season when the weather becomes part of the game itself. And honestly, from a storyline perspective, this game has everything. Caleb Williams versus Josh Allen, DJ Moore revenge game, playoff implications most likely, cold weather football, and potential Super Bowl caliber atmosphere. This feels less like a regular season game and more like a heavyweight fight in December. Wedge and I both agree. The Bears lose this one. Sorry. Merry Christmas, Bears fans. The Packers are in town. Oh, this one's going to have some hatred in it. Christmas Day, national audience, Packers, Bears, definitely some late season playoff implications. This is football chaos. And honestly, after losing to Green Bay earlier in the season at Lambeau, this feels like the revenge game Chicago's been waiting for all year long. The Packers already embarrassed themselves once against the Bears in the playoffs last season after blowing that massive lead. Now they're going to have to walk into Soldier Field on Christmas Day with the entire country watching. That's pressure. And if the Bears are sitting around 10 wins at this point, Chicago's going to be absolutely insane for this game. I could already hear the crowd now. And honestly, this feels like one of those legacy type games for Caleb. Not just beating Green Bay, owning Green Bay. Wedge and I both picked the Bears to win this one. Huge win. Next up, Detroit in Chicago. Here they come again. The Lions already got their shot at Ben Johnson on Thanksgiving. Now they've got to come into Chicago for the rematch late in the season. At this point, this rivalry feels completely different than it used to. There's real hatred here now. Detroit spent most of last season trying to prove they could still be the same team after losing Ben, while Chicago spent the entire season trying to become the team Detroit used to be. That's what makes this matchup so weirdly personal. And honestly, by week 17, there's a real chance both of these teams are fighting for playoff position, wild card seeding, or maybe even their season entirely. Soldier Field late in the year, cold weather, division rivalry, emotions through the roof. This feels like one of those ugly NFC North street fights where the final score barely even matters compared to the damage done for 4 quarters. Wedge and I both picked the Bears to win this one. And here we are, final week of the season. Week 18 at Minnesota, on the road, NFC North matchup, potential playoff implications here. And let's be honest, these Week 18 divisional games are never normal. The Vikings already proved last season that they could hang around even when things looked shaky early. They finished strong, played aggressive football late in the year, and Justin Jefferson is still the kind of player that could completely ruin your afternoon in one quarter. And honestly, going to Minnesota in Week 18 feels a little dangerous no matter what the records are. Hostile crowd, divisional rival, season potentially on the line. This feels like one of those games where every single possession suddenly feels massive. And depending on how the season shakes out before this game, this could either be a playoff clincher, a battle for seeding, or complete emotional destruction for somebody. Perfect NFC North football. But Wedge and I both picked the Vikings to lose. Bears win. Here we go. And there it is, folks. Our official 2026 Chicago Bears pick'ems. Wedge finished the season 12-5. I finished 13-4, which means one of two things is about to happen. Either we're about to look like football geniuses, or this entire video becomes evidence in a future psychological investigation. Either way, Bears fans, this season feels different. The expectations are real now. The spotlight is real now. And whether this team crashes and burns or finally becomes what we've all been waiting for, it's going to be a hell of a ride. Thank you guys again for the 200 subscribers. Seriously, we appreciate every single one of you supporting the channel, hanging out with us, and suffering through Bears football together. Make sure you guys drop your final record predictions in the comments. And as always, bear down.